Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here of Hansen vs. Predators and Can't Your Predator. Why don't you have a seat right over there and listen to Kyle and Brandon, our podcast. According to my chat logs, Kyle and Brandon have interesting guests.
No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweaty, everybody's on drugs, so they're super sweaty but also touchy, and then they touch your face, then you leave there, and the next day you have pimples.
Fantastic conversation.
He's underground in a lab, floating in a tank of water, because he almost died.
And most important, no predators.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet, and welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan. This is a podcast where I shoot the shit with friends, comedians, and various guests, usually over a drink or two, and nowadays, over Zoom. Because we are in a pandemic, and this is my first kind of pandemic podcast. Yeah, going on a solid 4 months of isolation here in Halifax, and yeah, your girl is going real crazy. Real stir crazy in here. Pretty bad. Not good at all. I know there's some people who are enjoying this, and that is not me. I am not enjoying this. I mean, there's certain things I think I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the lack of responsibilities and being able to sleep as much as I can and not suffer any consequences. But at the same time, that also kind of sucks because you get in this weird routine of not having a routine. And I think routine is good to have. I just literally don't have it right now. But trying to do some podcasts for you guys, trying to maintain some level of normalcy in my life, still putting on makeup and showering, which I think a lot of people aren't doing, but I'm choosing to do it because that's my form of control in this out of control world. Yeah, it's a crazy time. I've been putting out polls on Instagram to kind of get a sense of where people's heads are at in terms of the pandemic. And I actually put out a poll about, how are you guys finding it? Like, are you loving it or are you hating it? And the majority of people are hating it. So there you go. I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone, and I take some comfort in that. But it is really, really hard. Also, like, I don't know about you guys, but my ADD is acting up big time, like even more so than, before. I'm finding it really hard to be productive. I mean, I think that that's to be expected, but at the same time, it's really simple things that I'm trying to kind of get done on my list. And I'm just like, I'm so distracted, and I find it hard to complete tasks. It's crazy. But, I tried to make a little bit of a list here of things that I want to sort of try to do during the quarantine. I want to read all the self-help books that I bought. When this thing started, I ordered some books on Amazon. I am currently reading Getting to I Do by Dr. Pat Allen. It's like a relationship book. It's pretty much a book about how to find a man. Like, honestly, that's really what it is. But this is from the 90s, and it's a really popular book amongst a lot of female comedians that I follow. So decided to finally read it, and I've been reading it, picking away at it very slowly. I gotta read it more, though. I gotta make reading like a daily to-do. So I have that one. I also ordered Codependent No More, which is a very popular one as well. And I'm also listening to this audiobook called Untamed by Glennon Doyle, which came recommended to me from Nikki Glazer, who's my favorite, and I just love her so much, and I trust everything she recommends. It's a deep one. It's all about like self-discovery and like womanhood and all of that. That's been fun listening to that as well. You know, I'm just kind of picking away at things and listening to a lot of podcasts. The thing is too, like, so many people are making so much content right now, which, you know, going into this, I kind of thought, well, this is going to be a great time for content and podcasts. But now I'm like, there is so much of it. And is it a good time? I don't know, because I'm finding it harder to be motivated because I have less things to talk about. So I might do like a feature on Patreon where I kind of do regular weekly like audio diaries. I used to do these audio diaries every now and then, which was just me talking about life, and I kind of stopped doing that. I don't really have an excuse. I just kind of stopped, but maybe I'll start that up again to kind of track, you know, how I'm doing and all of this, and have it on Patreon. So that's something I might do. But regardless, I've been really rambling. It's literally 3 a.m. and I've been up in a thunderstorm. It was raining and thundering really, really loud, and I love that shit. So I'm just like in my element right now. But anyways, I have an episode for you guys this week. I was able to connect with two of my friends, two comedians here in Halifax over Zoom, Miss Adrienne Gabrielle and Albert Coombes. I enjoy these two so much, and it was so much fun. They're both so funny, and they play off each other so awesomely. So I really liked this pairing. Going forward, I think my episodes are going to be a mixture of sort of these group episodes where I get 1 to 3 guests on a Zoom call, and we just shoot the shit and talk. And I might, you know, honestly reach out to some people to do Zoom interviews, because I'll be honest, it's not something I'm used to, but this is the way of the world now, and who knows how long this will be. So I'm trying to learn to adapt to that and do some fun things for you guys. You know, like I might shoot my shot and reach out to some even bigger people that I follow to see if they want to do the podcast. I don't know. We'll see. I'm building it up. I'm building up the confidence slowly but surely. But yeah, so that's what the podcast will be going forward. It will be Zoom recordings. So just a warning on this, that audio quality isn't the best because, you know, not everyone has fancy XLR mics. So, I mean, I think that that's to be expected. I think people are going to be pretty lenient on that. This is like the one time in podcasting where bad sound quality is like okay and allowed. So there you go. In addition to that, I am also doing regular live streams. I'm going to try every Thursday night to do some sort of stream, whether that's live debates or like comedy pop-ins or, you know, just like party streams. Like, I don't know. I'm going to try to set Thursday aside as a day to stream, and I might do even more outside of that, but I kind of like the idea of having a standing day during the week where I stream. I think it would be good. So the live debates have been so much fun. We just did another one tonight. Those are all up on YouTube and Twitch. So do make sure you are following Intoxicated on Twitch and YouTube, as well as all other social media, Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast, on Twitter at @in_toxicated. And if you want to pop me an email at all with any questions, comments, or feedback, if you have an idea for a good guest for the show, really anything, you can email intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com. And as I mentioned earlier, Patreon, you can certainly check that out. It is patreon.com/intoxicated. Now that I have the time, I do plan on revamping that, giving some new rewards and kind of redoing the tiers. So stay tuned for updated info on Patreon. I'm really going to ramp it up because your girl got time. And it helps doing things like this. So do check that out. Other than that, make sure you are subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're feeling very generous and like you're enjoying the show and you want to do something really nice, you can leave an iTunes rating or review. That's always appreciated. And of course, the best way to do it, tell a friend, share it on your social media, share it on your Instagram stories, do it right now. Like if you're buckled in, ready to listen to this episode with Adrienne and Albert, give it a share on Instagram, tag Intoxicated, let your friends know that you're listening, and hopefully they will listen as well. So that's really about it. I am just like ramped up and energetic at 3 a.m. and I'm going to put this intro to bed and let you guys enjoy this week's episode with Adrienne Gabrielle and Albert Coombes. All right. I know that you have that Instagram account. You're gonna become influencer.
I am going to influence a lot of people. I can't even tell them. Just looking at. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop doing this because it's ridiculous.
I fucking hate that word, influencer.
Influencer? Yeah.
Yeah, like hated it.
Really,
Hate
it's just unpopular and good looking.
I hate it too. People keep saying, oh, you're an influencer. You're a good looking guy. You're this, you're that. And it's like, okay, thank you.
One compliment at a time, please. Oh yeah, I gotta send Matt the info just in case he can pop in.
Nice.
I figure we'll just get started and then
yes, let's do this.
It'll be a lovely surprise, and then if not, we have nothing but time to do another episode with him at some point. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Has he been on before? Have you?
Bunch of. Well, he was on. Yeah, he's been on 3 times in total.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many times have you been on?
Albert's only been on technically once only, right?
Once on the Intoxicated, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this will be what my episodes will be until God knows when.
Until this fucking thing's over with.
Yeah, I might even like, a lot of people want to do it, so I might, like, if I can just record as much as possible, like, I might just release like 2 a week or something, like, because everyone's down and wanting to do things, so.
Oh, I'm down.
Oh, you're down.
I'm down. I'm down.
We're going crazy. Look
at me. I'm down in my yellow Banana Republic sweater. Tiffany necklace.
I think you're such a classy lady.
Necklace?
That's a Tiffany necklace, bitch. And so are these earrings and my bracelets.
That's very impressive. I thought you said a nativity necklace. And I was like,
no, it's a Tiffany necklace. And I didn't pay for any of them because I'm a whore. But it's okay.
Literally thinking you're the last person that I would suspect would have a nativity necklace.
Yeah, it's not a nativity necklace. My mother tried to give me one once.
It's got the little baby Jesus.
And I was like, fuck that baby Jesus.
You need to have a Jesus piece. It's very important, Adrienne.
Jesus piece?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll you know what? I'll get working on that.
You should.
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll carve one out of soap this evening. I mean, what else am I gonna do in this fucking pandemic? Have you turned on the camera, Sarah? This shit is fucking golden.
Oh yeah, we're recording. We are officially recording. So we are here on the Intoxicated Podcast, and this is a very different type of episode that I'm used to be doing, but this is, I guess, this would be the first official like pandemic quarantined episode that I've done.
Yeah.
Because when I started self-isolating, then Andrew died, and then like I didn't do a regular episode for 2 weeks, and then I had one backlogged with Alva, and now here we are. So I'm kind of behind the curve on the pandemic podcasting.
Well, we're here to bring you up to speed.
We're going to catch everybody up. In case you didn't know, we're in a pandemic. But I'm able to connect with people via Zoom. And today I welcome Albert Coombes and Adrienne Gabrielle. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Both returning guests. I'm trying to think of like common threads between all 3 of us. We're all single people, I think, right? Adrienne, single?
I am single.
Okay. We all live alone.
Look at how, did I look proud? I was like, I am single.
There's a lot of couples that are quarantined together right now.
Fuck those couples that are quarantined together. What was that, Albert?
Is that like it sucks to be quarantined on your own, but like it could really suck to be quarantined not on your own.
It's kind of how
Absolutely.
I feel.
Yeah.
Like
it would be, well, I mean, it would be even worse to be quarantined with like a domestic abuser or something. Like
yeah.
Or like a werewolf or something.
Yeah.
We get pretty good, Even
like couples living together, like this is still unprecedented because even when you live together, like you would still go out, or you should anyway. You'd still go out and do things separately. And so even those couples that are used to living together are now just like constantly around each other, like 24/7.
Yeah, and I'm used to living on my own, so this is like practically like a hostage situation here.
Right?
No, that's good.
Well, I mean, I guess let's start the episode off by asking how you guys are doing. Comedy check-in, comedy mental health check-in with Albert and Adrienne. How generally speaking, are you finding everything? Because for me, I went into self-isolation. When was it? It would have been the 14th of March. So like I'm coming on almost 4 weeks.
I'm at 4. This is my 4th week as well, and I gotta say, like, it's had some ups and downs. I really can't tell you when I wore underwear last. Showers are like few and far between. I'm not kidding. I'm just like, oh yeah, really? No. Like, what's the point? What is the point? You're lucky I had to put on makeup. Like, I'm at that point where I don't even know if I care. I really don't. Like, I haven't had a shower since Sunday.
See,
there's no point.
Because I still do those things as a way to feel in control and a way to feel normal.
Yeah, I showered yesterday. Adrienne, you're gross. No, I showered 3 times, maybe 4 in like 3 weeks.
3 times in 3 weeks?
Maybe more than that.
You are like the pot calling the kettle black. You're grosser than me.
I just happened to have showered yesterday, though. Works out well.
Well, the days blend together. Sometimes you forget. You're like, because my sleep schedule is all mixed up right now. Yeah, real bad. The tipping point for me was, Adrienne, when you commented on my status going, "You're up so early."
I was shocked.
I had not gone to bed yet.
What time?
That's what it was.
It was
like 7. It was 7 in the morning. She responded
Albert, you know
me.
what night that was? It was the night of your birthday when we hung out until we hung out on Zoom until about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, I decide to read my news at nighttime when I'm in bed trying to sleep, and that's not a good idea because I go on the coronavirus subreddit and I go down rabbit holes.
I decided to read my news, aka scroll through Reddit. Reading.
It's on Twitter, really. And I guess
Twitter. Right. Both very reputable news sources. That's where I get my stuff, subreddit and Twitter. Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't do the same thing. I just don't call it news. I just call it like fucking around.
I guess I fuck around. Okay. Well, I guess I go down the Reddit rabbit hole late at night and I go to multiple subreddits. And then night is also when I start thinking about what if I die in my sleep and no one finds me? And I get nighttime anxiety. And so that night of your birthday party, for whatever reason, my brain was wired and I could not sleep. I didn't get to sleep until after 7 a.m.
That's crazy. It is easier to sleep. And we were talking about this the other day. It's easier to sleep once the sun comes up. For some reason. Very comforting. Once the sun comes up, it's like, okay, I've survived.
Yeah. What are you guys are fucking vampires? No, it's not easy to sleep when the sun comes up.
We are not normal. We are not.
At 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. than it is to sleep at 10 p.m.
I would agree. 100%.
Albert, how do you hold a decent job?
Well, that's the thing. I have been tired a lot.
You are working, which means you've got your blackout curtains down and you're sleeping.
No, I've been legitimately working, but I've just been really tired. I will often get to sleep at 2 or 3 o'clock, before, and then work the next day at 9.
Yeah,
which is not bad. You still get 5 or 6 hours of sleep. It sucks, but I don't know. It is what it is. I work as late as I can in the day.
Right.
To accommodate that. But yeah, I don't know.
You can flex your hours.
Yeah, thank God. Oh my God. Shout out to an unmentionable employer who allows me to do that.
Well, I mean,
I liked your.
we won't talk specifics, but you are both still working your jobs, which helps because it gives you a sense of routine, or I think we're all out of whack with our routines, but it gives you some routine. You know what I mean? Like some hour span where you're like, I have to do this thing. I don't have that right now. So.
I work. My office is currently in my dining room, which also serves as my dining room. So, but yeah, and like you were talking about routines, I definitely try to, I try to get up every day at the same time, and I work out in the morning, and then I get ready. I have a 9:00 meeting every morning, and then I just spend the rest of the day, masturbating and sleeping. So.
Oh my God, I know the amount of porn.
Don't tell anybody.
Keep it on the DL.
God damn, it's excessive. It is excessive. The amount. Oh man. And I don't have a job, so I could literally do it all day if I wanted.
What, are you talking about sleeping or masturbating?
Both.
At the same time.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be doing it and I'll just drift off.
She's a sleep masturbator.
Z's vibrator and sleeping joke. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Apparently, on a side note, Venus Envy, the sex store here in Halifax, does do deliveries.
Good to know, because I'm running low. Of everything that I've run low on, that is the thing I am most concerned about. Like, where am I going to find that new double-ended dildo that I've been looking for so desperately during this pandemic? Oh my God!
You're running out. Have you whittled it down?
I whittled it down. To a little nub. It's like a little nub. Unless you know what to use it with. So I'm just switching sides constantly. Like I'm just pretending.
More than once. She uses it once, throws it in the garbage. Throws it out.
They're disposable double-ended dildos.
Oh my gosh! I bet you porn sites are like overwhelmed with traffic.
I heard that in Italy, someone told me that they're giving everyone free Pornhub accounts, and I'm like, It's always been free. You can always get content on Pornhub for free. Why do you need a free account? Like, how long are you watching these porns?
And what does the premium get you? What does the premium get you?
Probably full-length movies. Like, so why? I mean, like, how long are you watching porn for? Like, if it takes you
the ones you see every so often with a little star. Not that I know.
Oh, okay. Of course, right. I know you would.
I watch.
Your friend told you that. Your friend.
I watch a lot of CNN and jerk off to that.
Really, it's really hot. That CNN, super sexy.
I'm a big fan.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. But Albert, how are you dealing with everything emotionally?
It's hard. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm doing okay. Relatively speaking, I would say. Like, I'm working, so I'm feeling pretty lucky about that. I don't know. I feel like I should be exercising more. Like, I've got an exercise bike, which is good. So I got on that yesterday, and that definitely helps.
Oh, that's good
just
that you have that.
Cooped up sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. I got it delivered, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago for like $100. One of the best investments ever. And it's recumbent. So you can like sit down in it. It's really good.
Do you do things when you go on the bike? Do you like listen to stuff or watch things?
He jerks off. Were you listening?
Get an arm workout and a leg workout at the same time.
He has a recumbent bike.
What
else would he be doing?
Love the idea of just like jerking off to the Rocky theme song. Da, 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 da.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Make a good point about exercise though, because I feel the same way. I'm like, I have not checked how many steps I've walked each day, but I bet you it's really sad. But every now and then, like there's some days that I don't even go outside at all. And I got to stop doing that. I got to make it a point to try to go out.
I try to at least once. My chair is broken, my deck chair.
Oh, that
you know
sucks.
those, like the cloth, like beach chairs or whatever, like the ones you get at Canadian Tire for $12.
Yes.
Yeah, so I bought them like 3 years ago, and I've left them outside for 3 years. They're not built for that.
No.
While I was trying to have a coffee outside, it just broke, and then I sunk into my chair, and I looked like a fool, like a goddamn fool.
Oh,
But Adrienne, you have like a yard and a house, so that's nice.
I do. I have a yard, and yeah, I have a house. It's a little overwhelming. It's an old house, but it's new to me. So it's causing me a lot of stress. There's quite a few significant repairs that I have to make that I wasn't aware of when I bought it, and that plus the pandemic, and me used to living by myself. I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. Like I am constantly worrying about everything.
Everything, yeah.
Like I've been popping Ativan like crazy.
I want to talk about Ativan for a second here.
Your favorite now, because
I've never had it before.
I think I'm pretty sure. Okay, one of the times I was on it, I'm pretty sure I talked to you, Albert, on it at Beerley's. Okay, so what happened was I was really stressed because of the live show. And Adrienne gave me 2 tiny pills of it, which I probably isn't.
We shouldn't be talking about it. I give her sugar pills.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like a drug deal to me.
The first one's always free, Albert.
Take these criminals down.
I'm doing it. Yeah, like I'm like giving 2 out at a time.
Listen, if a cop listens to this, if a cop hears this and listens to this and tries to track us down, at least he's a download.
That's right. He's a listener.
Yeah. At least that's what I always say. I'm like, if I say something that offends someone and someone messages me and gets offended, at least I know someone's fucking listening. So
yes. So I gave you 2 Ativan because I'm a caring friend.
And I didn't take an Ativan the day of the show, but I think the Wednesday before the show, I took one because I was really stressed because of all the planning, and I took it, and then I just felt so like happy and nothing mattered. And I went to Beerley's, and I think I went up to you, Albert, going like, I'm on Ativan.
That's funny. It was at Beerley's. I might have just been like shittered. Sometimes I'll just get like
that's the place to do it.
So the time I was at Beerley's right before the live show, actually, I remember this because I really hurt my leg by falling down.
No.
I went to Joe Harfouche had a show at maybe it was on a Thursday, but I feel like it was on a Wednesday. He ran a show at Propeller, and it was super fun. But you know that Galaxy IPA they have there? Oh, it's so tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had another, and maybe they're double IPA too. Anyways, they just got too drunk. We all went over to Beerley's later. It was like fucking messy. So what I'm saying is that you might have told me that.
Yeah.
And I was already like blacked out on a work night.
Probably. I mean, Beerley's does tend to be the mic that everyone would get drunk at. First, like
Karaoke.
Yeah.
And a free beer.
Yeah.
Snakes is
Can
free
I just say before we go any further that I hope my doctor doesn't see this episode?
this is the point, Adrienne, where you tell me that those were placebo pills and you were just psychologically giving me the placebo effect of thinking I was taking something that would calm me down.
That's exactly what I mentioned earlier, sugar pills, right?
Yeah. Yep, like the birth control week that you take and they're sugar pills.
That's what I gave you. So, yeah. Okay.
But I did, speaking of prescriptions and doctors, I did discover a new app that I'm going to try out. It's called Maple. It connects you with doctors virtually and they can write you prescriptions.
Oh, sounds interesting.
It sounds like the opiate crisis is alive and well.
I'm mostly curious about how legit the doctors are, because apparently they're legit. But in my mind, I'm like, how is this legal? Because like, if they're prescribing you something, like, don't most doctors like have to take your blood pressure and stuff to prescribe you pills? So how is that?
From like India or China. Like, where are you connecting to these doctors?
I think they're in Canada.
If it's Maple, then that implies Canada to me. I mean, I don't know. That's not a good way to like judge whether a doctor is legit. I don't know. He's on maple.com. If it was eagle.com, sure, he's an American doctor.
I zoned out for a second because I realized my name was incorrect on my screen. So I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta change that. So I was like, oh, anyways, yes, back maple.com. Yes, Canadian.
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Or not. I mean, how many times have you gone to some place and some site and you think it's what it should be, and it turns out to be like something completely different?
Very true. Well, this was recommended to me by someone who's used it. So
okay.
Like what kind of? There's no way you can get like, say, mind altering like narcotic drugs prescribed.
Well, I don't know, but I know that I think they can connect with your pharmacy and like renew prescriptions for you. So like if I needed a new prescription for birth control, I think they could renew that. And I think they can give you like antibiotics and shit, like if you're like sick.
But if someone hooked you on Ativan, you can't just call them up and be like, hey, I need more Ativan.
I don't know
if where like I can't imagine you can, like, that shouldn't be allowed. I feel like it's too easy to be abused. But for like regular drugs, like my pharmacist can prescribe me riboprazole, which is like it's not exactly an antacid, but it's for like acid reflux.
Okay.
Like I get that prescribed by my pharmacist.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they charge like a fee for it or whatever. But if you don't want to go to a doctor, you can get some stuff prescribed.
Yeah, you can, including birth control now. You don't need to go to a doctor to get your birth control pill.
You have to take up a doctor's time to get birth control. That's crazy.
I know, it's stupid. Yeah, it is crazy.
I'm not saying it should be a counter, but like this seems like a fair middle ground.
So what I need to ask your guys' advice on is, what drug should I ask for?
Valium.
Should I ask? Because I think about it and I'm like, I'm very anxious and stressed, but I'm also convinced that I'm very ADD and just have never been diagnosed. So I think I also need something that would help me focus and be more productive with my days.
Are you talking every day or are you talking occasional?
Every day. It's real bad.
That's fair. I don't like the idea of doing drugs every day.
Well, I mean, if it's a pill.
Myself, I don't mean for anyone else. Like, I think they legitimately help. Like, there's a reason these things exist. Just for me, like, I don't know. It scares me.
Oh, like the idea of being medicated and taking a pill every day?
Yeah. Unless it's riboprazole, in which case, like, my tum-tum hurts. You know, gotta take care of that.
Your tum-tum. That's so cute. I get that, though, because I get really bad stomach pains as well. I just take over-the-counter
this is like
stuff
3 times as good as Antac.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's worth getting. Talk to a doctor or a pharmacist today.
This is the weirdest conversation ever. What are we, 75 years old, comparing our fucking prescription meds? Oh, I take something for my hemorrhoids. Can't remember the name. Oh, let me go to my medicine cabinet and I'll let you know. Oh.
I heard someone say on a podcast that the way that adults are acting now in this pandemic is either we're acting like children or we're acting like old people. Like we're either doing puzzles and playing games all day, or we're like doing stuff like this, like talking about prescriptions and
That's the thing, because old people and children are the two types of people that get locked in houses for long periods of time. Those are the only two modes of existence we have when we're locked into a house.
Yeah.
Have you guys realized anything about yourself, like in this kind of consistent state of being alone? Like, have you realized anything about yourself at all?
Yeah, I'm a complete piece of shit because I get mad at my mother all the time.
Well, that's just normal, though. I think anyone would act that way if they were like cooped up with somebody.
Okay, what else have I learned? Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to think about that. Albert, have you learned anything?
I've learned that alcoholism, fine. Okay, it's not a big deal. I drink all day.
Well, there was a point.
Albert looks like someone who really misses hanging out at playgrounds.
He means because I look like a kid, not because I look like a pedophile. I just want to clear that up. My childlike teacher she's referring to. No, I'm not.
Oh, fuck. No. Did I not? I don't think I sent Matt the link. This is exactly what I mean and how ADD I am. It's so bad. Like, there's so many simple tasks that oh, did I? Oh, no, I sent it to him. Sweet. I did do it. I shouldn't doubt myself.
Yes, exactly.
But that immediate self-doubt and racing mind, that is ADD.
Yes, but also too, it's like I'm not working a job right now, but there's still little things around the apartment that I could do and could get done, but I just go, I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think most people do that to some extent.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a point where it becomes a problem. I'm almost getting better. Well, now that I've stopped smoking pot, I've gotten a lot better at that in general.
Like being more focused or more productive?
Yeah, just actually doing things.
Yeah.
Which is but like, it's still not perfect at it. But like, it improved.
Well, that's good though.
What do you got now? What's this?
It's Reese's Pieces.
It's like you're like a little kid. Every time you get something new, you're like, look, Mom. I got a bottle of wine and some Reese's Pieces.
Do you guys enjoy getting drunk by yourself?
Is that if I say yes, is that a problem?
Not at all. I wish I was like that.
Adrienne, do you enjoy being a sad piece of shit alcoholic? That's what
I know, right? That's kind of how I felt like that was like, it was like really asking something else. Not really, like there was something more to that question. Yes, I do enjoy getting drunk by myself.
Okay. Because I find if I get drunk alone, I'll just end up crying and texting ex-boyfriends.
You mean that's wrong? Like I thought that, I don't know. I feel like that's part of the fun, isn't it?
Maybe.
How the alcohol leaves your body.
That's right. The tears.
In tears. Actually, I would get drunk on a Zoom call with people, but I wouldn't do it without some sort of like interaction with other people.
Isn't that what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
That's
I am drinking.
I've done. Like that's the only drinking I've done since isolation started. Is I drank. I've gotten really into bubbly during this isolation shit, and I've drank like a bottle of it during several calls.
What kind of bubbly shit? Like what are we talking about? Like bubble bath or?
I think it means champagne.
Champagne.
In the middle of the podcast to get champagne. Just show it.
No, you can, Albert. You can do it. It's intoxicated.
Go get it.
Go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Let's see what this is. I bet you it's hot collar.
See, when he said bubbly, I thought of the canned bubbly drinks, which I love, like the soda water. But right. I think he means champagne.
I think he means like, baby duck.
No, it's
hot collar.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay.
Don't judge me, motherfucker.
Okay, that's not all right. Look at you, fancy pants.
This is a cordon rosado, fraccinet, grand selection. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Adrienne's blown away by your accent.
You speak Yiddish. That's fantastic.
It brought Vin Musso.
Wow.
God damn.
If he keeps talking, we're gonna have to bring out that nub of the double-ended dildo. It's just that is some sexy talk.
Thank you.
Serious question about dildos and Zoom. Do you think Zoom watches what people record on this?
Yes.
Zoom, the entity?
Yeah, like the company Zoom, like this thing that we're using right now. Do you think that that's kind of like when you would get your pictures developed and like people at Walmart would like see your like nudies?
I think the volume would prohibit it, but I would say that if you record something, they could. I mean, they definitely could. Like anything you do online, like Skype and stuff like that, I feel like where there's no recording built into it, although they still could record it, it's not as like dangerous. But anything that like you're actually recording, I mean, of course, if Zoom wanted
right.
to.
So if you just did a call but didn't record it, you might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's creepy to record your sex calls.
Well, then you could rewatch and jerk off to your own sex call.
Never thought of that.
But I don't know if I would want to jerk off to myself. I feel like I would just be analyzing my double chin.
I was just going to say, I could not do that. I would be so, like, hypercritical.
If you want to jerk off to yourself, you can just record yourself and then jerk off. Like, why are you?
No, or jerk off yourself in a mirror. How about that?
Yeah. You don't need to involve technology.
You don't have to record. You don't have to involve technology.
Well, it's more the interaction with the other person.
Oh, there's another person on the call.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know about this. Albert and I, again, we were like, oh, another person. Oh. Where is that other person?
But it's still super weird. Unless you're just recording their part of it. And even then, like you're talking about, I can understand a dude doing that, but a girl doing that's super weird.
Really?
Is it? Why?
A girl recording some dude jerking off and then like getting like that. Can anybody possibly enjoy that?
When you really like the person, I feel like when I really like the person, I do enjoy it.
Outside of the moment, though, outside of the live moment, could you possibly enjoy that visually? There's no way.
Visually, I think because I don't know, maybe I have no idea. I think coming from you as I'm guessing a straight guy, you can't imagine watching yourself. You're watching some guy jerk off, but that's if you're like into that, why not?
I'm talking about okay, so if a girl sends me a picture, I will hang on to that. Right. But if a guy sends like a dick pic, even if it's a guy you like, do you find yourself looking back at it later?
Yes. I do. Yeah, I have an album.
Me too. I've got a few.
I mean, I think it depends. I think that like I have a sex friend who I've known since 2013. When I was at the height of like, this guy's so hot and this is so exciting, I was saving every single picture. But now I'm like, no, that's just that old dick that I like, you know what I mean? Like Like I still like it and it turns me on, but I won't save it. But when we started doing it, I would save it.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think as a general rule, and maybe it's just literally me, but I feel like girls are less into those pictures than guys are.
Oh, probably like a little less. Yeah. We're more, it's for me anyways. I don't know, Adrienne, if you can speak to this, but I like hearing voices and like being told things versus pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I keep pictures for like, I don't know, like not I'm not like you, like I'm not sitting here like, ooh, let me what can I get off on tonight? But for me, it's more like entertainment. I'm like, oh, that was interesting. Let me look at that again just for funsies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because dicks, I feel like there's less variance amongst dicks. They all kind of look generally the same.
Yeah, I have a gay friend in Chicago, and every once in a while, because I like, you know, I get a new phone, maybe I lose it or something, I always ask him to send me a picture of his dick, because it's really impressive, and he loves to send it. So I've gotten pictures from gay friends too. Yeah, he loves to show it off. So I'm like, hey, I'm sitting here with my girlfriends. They want to see your dick. And he's like, sends it right away.
Albert's face.
That seems odd to me.
That's because you're not gay, I guess.
Or a straight woman.
I'm assuming.
Oh
yeah, I'm definitely not either of those things. Well, I don't think I'm a lady. I mean, I might be.
I don't think. Are you guys on any, are you like, people are also talking about how online dating is actually skyrocketing right now because people are so bored. So they're like going on apps and talking to more people. I'm not at all. What about you guys? Like,
a little bit, but I still kind of hate it.
Yeah.
You what? What was that last part, Albert?
I still kind of hate it. I still find it upsetting and lowering my self-worth.
Yeah. I haven't been on online dating in a long time because it really is miserable and I hate it so much. I think it would take even more than a pandemic for me to get back on there. I don't know.
Oh, I would agree. Yeah, it's still just as time consuming and still just as disappointing. Like nothing's changed really. It's just you have more time to be disappointed.
Yeah, and then what do you do? Like you can't meet up. You're just like torturing yourself.
Well, people are having FaceTime dates.
Okay.
Like that you can do, and it's something, but it's not the same thing. It's closer to an actual person when you're face to face. But that's the problem with online dating. Like it's just a fake thing.
Totally fake.
Like you don't know somebody unless you've known them for a month of like seeing them. Like and you don't know somebody at all unless you've known them for a month of seeing them. So like it just feels dishonest. And if you don't like being dishonest, it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, you won't enjoy it as much. You won't. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I'm still posting like Instagram stories and selfies and shit. And I had like a friend message me last night being like, why are you wearing makeup? And why are you like, why? It's so much work. And I was like, I still need to put my best face forward if I still want to date when all of this is over. You know what I mean? Like, I still feel that need to like, again, put my best face forward out into the world. And I don't mind doing it. It's just interesting how a lot of people are like just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna look like shit for months, and I refuse.
No, if I'm gonna be in front of people, I definitely like this. I definitely put on makeup and stuff, but yeah, a day to day, like again, lack of showering.
Yeah,
I just don't care, you know.
I mean, I look the same. Is the thing.
Yeah, for guys, it's different.
Yeah, I mean,
it is so different for guys. So fucking different for guys. You guys, yeah, It's
This is one main difference. But to be fair, I'm not one of these motherfuckers out here who decided to grow this all willy-nilly. Been growing this shit since February. Want to let people know it takes me 2 months to grow even this.
That is a well-groomed mustache.
Thank you.
Thank you for not like going off the beaten path, Albert.
I used to have all of this stuff, and it was gross because I can't grow it well. So I think just the mustache is better.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did you see Travis Lindsay's comment on my Instagram?
Yeah.
So I posted a picture of when we did the debates. I posted a screenshot, and it was the clip that I posted of Albert's debate, and Travis said that Albert looks like he runs a successful Wendy's.
A successful Wendy's, which is really nice, because he could have said like shitty Wendy's or something, yeah. But he didn't. Good.
Like you put your heart and soul into it.
Look at how proud he is. He's like, I would be running a successful Wendy's.
Hey, no shit. Yeah, I'm like not the number one Wendy's in the area necessarily, but like if there's 5 of them, I'm number 2.
You're at least in the top 5. Yeah,
you're in the top 5.
I mean, not out of 5. Out of 5, I would like to be in the 1 or 2 spot.
You don't want to be in the 8th spot. No.
Yeah.
Do you guys miss? Are you guys getting? Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about, because I asked it on Instagram because I'm conflicted.
Oh, can I interrupt and ask a question and say something though before we leave that topic?
Yeah.
I love how like Albert has so many things that you can say about him. Like, oh, running a successful Wendy's, hangs out in playgrounds, looks like Ron Jeremy. Like, but
in more ways than one.
Oh my God! Speaking of dick pics, I'm opening the floor to you guys saying, like, tell me, what do I look like?
Oh, are we roasting each other now?
Well, I'm just curious because we just said during the debates and tonight we just made a number of comments about Albert because he really has a distinctive look, and I'm like, okay.
Adrienne, you look like a school teacher who hits the kids when you give them detention.
Oh my God, that is what I am. That's exactly what I am. I am a teacher.
I honestly don't. I'm so bad at roasting. I have no idea.
Yeah, I am a teacher. That's what I did for 13 years.
Oh my God. You taught from the age of 13 till your current age of 26?
Yes. I was a child prodigy. I went to university when I was 9.
One of those child prodigy who goes into teaching. I'm the smartest person in the world. Now I teach kids kickball.
I had a calling. Look at Mother Teresa. Do you think she was stupid? No, but she didn't. Did she make lots of money? No.
No, I mean, probably not. I don't know much about Mother Teresa. The only thing I do know about her is that Chris Hitchens really, really hated her. That's the only specific thing I know about Mother Teresa.
She must have had things wrong with her. Is there anything else that we can comment on for Adrienne?
Besides being a teacher who hits her students, which is true. Well, at least the first part.
Because the good thing about these Zoom calls is you can see inside people's homes, too.
Look at this fucking outlet at the halfway up the wall that I'm trying to hide.
Yeah, you're
what
not
a stupid spot for an outlet.
What's that? You both talked at the same time.
I fucking hate recording remotely so much for this reason. Like, I'm this, but I hate it.
That is hard.
Yeah. What did you say, Albert, about the outlet?
I didn't say anything about the outlet. I just said you're not getting a lot from seeing into my house either. You can see that I have a door with glass, and then I've got a drape over it.
That's to hide what you do in there.
And
if I have guests staying here, there's a drape over the thing so that it's not like open. You know what I mean?
You mean like
I
The
entertain.
people you abducted.
No, I entertain people.
Entertain.
Albert, do you get many house guests on if in regular circumstances, do you get people staying there a lot?
Not like a crazy amount. I mean, sometimes. Like if any of my like friends from St. John's are in town, like I'll let them crash here because I got like a spare room with a futon. So
Right. That's awesome though.
yeah, it's
the
good to
dream
have.
to have a spare room.
Spare room is key, and especially now when I've got the computer set up. This is where a lot of my upcoming film, Cop First, then Not a Cop, then a Cop Again, is set.
Albert, tell Adrienne all about your cop movie.
So I've made a cop film, or I've started it. It's about a third of the way done.
Oh my God. Really?
I'm the police man, and I'm the police chief who fires me, and I'm the robber who robs me, and then I arrest myself and I get my job back.
That sounds fabulous. I'm
very excited about it.
slightly insane.
Right?
Perfect.
Crazy.
Albert, question about your movie. Are you going to do any fancy camera work like what Matt Baker did where it looks like he's interviewing himself?
That is my plan. Yeah, for when I arrest myself.
That's amazing. I wonder how that's done. I'm very curious.
Skylar explained to me how to do it.
Oh, yeah?
He made, and I don't want to put him on blast, but he made a movie back when we were in university called Cross Quest, greatest film ever made, where he is a Terminator that goes back in time to kill himself for being a dick.
Wow.
Great film. And you see both of hymns on
both of hymns.
If I would see my teacher, someone wants to slap you right now. Both hymns.
Both of hymns. The two hymns,
The two hymns. Okay, sorry, I totally interrupted you, Sarah. You were going to ask a question.
Well, I want you guys to roast me now. Do I look like a mediocre cam girl in here? like it's my first stab at it and I haven't quite developed my shtick yet, but I'm just like being like, hey, talk to me.
Yeah, and you were like, you got home from the gym and you didn't have time to change.
Yeah, I did all of this, but from here down, it's just workout gear.
They're like, they're not going to tell it. They're not going to know the difference. They're going to think this is like a Forever 21 top.
Yes, pretty much. Well, what I was going to say was, when Andrew died, I, for about a solid week, lived on delivery because I didn't want to do anything. Get out of bed, nothing, didn't want to cook. And a lot of people seem to be scared of delivery right now, like that they're not ordering it. What are you guys' thoughts? Like, is it okay? Are you scared of it? Because, like, I've just been doing it. And then I heard people going, oh, well, I've only eaten my own cooking since this whole thing.
Are these people from, like, Tennessee?
No.
I only eat my own cooking. Yeah, she took the F and G on the other.
I don't know. I don't know why I did that.
No, I was eating a pizza the other day, and I was real worried. I was like, shit, is this delivery? Like, am I going to get COVID? And then I was like, wait, it's not delivery. It's delicious.
It's delicious.
I do not get delivery. My friend in the States, she's still getting delivery. She said that she she heard that prepared food was fine. I don't know. My sister, who also eats out a lot like me, she has stopped as well.
So, do they give you reasons why?
My sister,
yeah.
she's just scared about the risk.
Because if you were to go to the grocery store and buy some apples, someone could walk by those apples right before you and sneeze on them.
Exactly.
Wait, what about oranges?
Too.
Yeah, they could.
Bananas?
Yeah. But I guess with grocery food, you could.
Sarah, what about kiwis?
I love kiwi. I feel like kiwis because you're not eating the skin, or you shouldn't.
Steelers eat the skin, so there's a problem right there.
You're eating the skin. That's another thing you look like as a cannibal, Adrienne.
He puts the lotion on.
Is she a great big fat person?
You do have very meaty cheeks.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. Ever since people start judging me about delivery, now I'm nervous. Now I've gotten nervous.
No, I think the restaurants, they're open. If the premier felt that wasn't safe, he would have shut those down, I think.
How Domino's is doing it is they, like, I paid through the app or the website or whatever.
You prepay. Yep.
And then they drop the pizza on top of that, like, hot bag. And then they go, like, bring it back. And they stand 6 feet away.
Albert, they didn't do that with me. They didn't do that with me.
Yeah, well, obviously you were night. I mean, this was like day 8 of no showering. I mean, maybe it was.
I keep hearing about these like contactless delivery like procedures, and I haven't everyone that every time I've used Uber Eats, I've been like, just leave it at the door, just knock and leave it at the door, and they don't do that. They wait for me.
Do they wait like nearby?
No, they just like normal, and then they just pass it to me, and I guess we're not touching, but it's definitely maybe less than 6 feet. Like,
I mean, at the end of the day,
food.
They're touching the food.
They're touching if it's a thing of pizza, they're touching the box.
Like the guy who made my pizza at Domino's was also the guy who delivered it.
How do you know?
According to the website.
Oh, right, because it has that tracker that tells you.
I know you can tell this about me, but like I've ordered a few Domino's pizzas in my day.
You look like you might own one.
Yeah, we go way back.
But only in the top, let's say, 10 of Domino's pizzas. Wendy's, you'd be like top 5. Domino's, top 10.
Yeah. Domino's is a high level to live up to.
It really is.
What do you guys think?
Domino's is getting 50% off or getting like 2 for $15, and then no matter what I order, having to pay $35 every single time.
I know. Oh my God, you think it's so cheap, and then you're like, okay, that gets a bell ring, because that's something I always think about. Always
the same amount. Domino's always costs the same. You can get 99% off. And it's still $35.
It's the same as like when I go to the grocery store, if I was like cooking a meal, people are like, it's so much cheaper to cook, do your own cooking. I'm like, every time I go for groceries to buy those ingredients, it's always $50 to $60. Always.
That's because you're starting from scratch. Someone who doesn't cook, you have nothing over there but like probably like 3 packs of soy sauce and a bag of sugar or something.
And then the next time I do it, I don't think I have those items, so I rebuy them.
Do you just have like 100 bags of flour, 1 cup out of each?
Ketchup I'm bad for. I never think I have ketchup, but I always do. Sour cream, I have like 1,000 sour creams.
Sour cream does not keep. You should not have any more than that.
Oh.
Look at how concerned he looks. He looks very concerned.
No, that's triggering for Albert.
Yeah, that's gross. Have you ever had sour cream for a week and a half in your fridge?
Yeah.
Clearly Albert has.
Good.
Listen, I'm really bad. I will fully admit it. I'm really bad at cleaning out the fridge. Real bad.
I've gotten better at it for sure. and another thing I've switched to, for all my big bean fans in the audience, we got any big bean eaters around?
I love beans.
Yeah, I've switched to dried beans instead of cans of beans. Way, way better.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $2 or $3 for like a thing of beans. I could live on the beans and rice. I've got in my
Ooh.
home for like maybe a month.
That's fun, though. I enjoy that.
Nobody would want to be around you, though, during that month.
I'm isolated.
There you go.
And beans on their own aren't the problem. Like if you rinse them well and stuff and you're not eating them with like, asparagus and cauliflower and shit like that, it's not so bad.
There you go. I love asparagus too. Man, why do all the good foods have to be the ones that make you stink?
Not only do I love asparagus, I love the way my pee smells after.
I've never noticed that when I've eaten that.
There's some people who don't have the gene, Mom said.
Oh, it's a gene.
There's a gene that causes your pee to smell.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was like it's a dominant versus a recessive thing, I think.
I didn't know that part.
Because Sarah's very recessive, whereas I am dominant as fuck.
I can tell.
Oh God, I just got some weird Dom imagery in my head with Albert.
He's a bean Dom. Look at him.
Oh, what?
Some leather.
He's a bean Dom.
Bean Dom.
So, yeah. So I guess I'm okay to keep getting delivery food, eh?
Is a bean Dom just somebody who was a Dom in the past?
Oh my God.
It's you being Dom. And now you're fucking super sub with your cherub cheeks and that dimple.
The one dimple. If I get fat enough, I get a second one.
You keep eating those Domino's pizzas and beans and rice. That should be your goal for pandemic.
Get
that second dimple.
I want to lose some weight during pandemic because I feel like it's possible. Like I'll definitely be drinking less now that I'm not going out.
You know what I highly recommend for weight loss during a pandemic?
Ativan. Apparently,
having a friend die.
Yeah, that might do it.
That's super sad. Are you volunteering?
Some people eat their feelings.
I find that I'm eating less.
Clearly, sorry. I keep hearing myself.
I know. I think Albert, you got to put headphones on.
Why?
Because I think we're hearing ourselves through your mic.
Does it not filter that out well? I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I think that's the issue. I can't say for certain, but I hear myself every now and then.
Yeah, I can hear myself though. Like I sound like like Snoopy's like Charlie Brown's teacher. I can hear it.
One of my favorite moments from the debates was when Albert opened his debate segment at the live show with "Am I right?" in response to Matt.
Yeah, I actually planned that. That was one of few things where I was like, no, this I can prepare for. That'll give me 10 seconds.
Was it nerve-wracking doing that? Both of you guys did debates at the live show.
I didn't find it too bad. Me and Matt was great. I was glad to go up against Matt. He was super funny beforehand. So that helped, but he made silly points. He was funny, but he was basically doing crowd work. So it was easy to kind of pick apart what he was saying because he was just saying ridiculous shit to be funny, which was the goal.
Exactly. Yeah.
I found it a little difficult because, can we be honest about about the other debate?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other debate, I was given a few minutes lead time because I am not I get a little.
No,
you like having a bit of time.
Headlights. Yeah, I get deer in the headlights when I have to do something off the cuff.
Yeah.
So this was off the cuff, so I thought, okay, this will be a good challenge. And of course, afterwards, I was like, oh fuck! I felt like there were so many other things I could have said. It It was okay. I did all right.
Mm-hmm. You all did so good. I admire all of y'all because even doing these debate live streams, like I don't have the guts to do a debate. Like I like hosting it, but
you were a great host. I had people who watched it, and they were telling me that they really liked your hosting.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
That's
hopefully
funny,
we'll be
'cause
doing more.
some friends of mine were watching it and they said just the opposite. So like, yeah, it's funny how-
They're like, I love how every now and then I'll look at
I'm
like
just kidding.
I'll look at YouTube comments, or I'll look at if I do live streams, I'll look at specifically Twitch. Twitch comments are always really interesting because there are always a lot of guys that are like, "Who's this babbling bitch?" Like,
Really?
and there was one guy. So we did back in February of last year. I did a 15-hour live stream, and me and Kirsten Finch were doing a segment. Like, she came over and we were doing something, and there was a guy on Twitch that kept asking us to burp.
Ew.
First he asked how many black guys we banged, and then he asked if we could burp, and he kept asking us to burp.
Like, I don't see the correlation. That's so interesting.
No, that's crazy. But how many?
now that we're on that topic. You next, Albert. How many?
Yeah. Guys.
Yeah, so I
Too
don't
many.
know.
Thinking. He's like tallying. You see that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there was that one time in Mexico, and then there was another time. Okay, I was in Detroit. Oh.
Well, how do you think I get to all these exotic places? You know?
Exactly.
You gotta take a little bit of dick if you want to go to Mexico.
Speaking of traveling, do you guys think you'll ever go on a cruise ship? Like, well, because you've done a cruise, right, Albert?
I was on a cruise last May. Yeah,
You was on a cruise last night. Outside.
It's a different kind of cruise, though.
Yeah.
Cruising for ladies of the night.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Adrienne has me pegged.
But like, that's like gotta be.
Speaking of having me pegged, one of those ladies of the night last night. She had me pegged.
I bet she did. I bet she did. Prices are rock bottom right now. You're probably getting all kinds of action, all kinds of deals. She had you pegged. Literally?
Actually, rock bottom prices that's just the cost of, a lady anyways. Hey, how much does it cost to rock your bottom, ladies?
Oh my God.
I thought you were having your bottom rocked. You just said pegged. You said you
I was, yeah. I had to switch it, though. You know how it is. I had to switch it out.
Oh my God. I will never go on another cruise.
I've never been on a cruise in the first place, so the
you
idea
cruised?
alone freaks me out, and now it certainly freaks me out too much.
I shouldn't say never. I liked the cruise that I went on. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I don't think I'll ever go on another one. And now, given the circumstances, what's going on, I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
Can you imagine being quarantined on a cruise ship where everyone is sick?
Fuck, no. Where'd I go? I went to Key West and Cozumel and South Beach. Where'd you go, Albert?
I went to, Bermuda, no big deal. I was out there. Let's just say that the place I went to, a lot of people don't come back. You got to really Earhart. I survived where she was unable to. So I just think that says a lot about me and my character.
Did you guys hear? Speaking of cruise ships, I'm gonna bring it down many notches. Did you guys hear about this? I read a news story today about a couple that died of coronavirus from a cruise ship, but they died holding hands within 6 hours of each other.
Oh,
isn't that like heartbreaking?
So who died first, the guy or the girl?
Ooh, that's such a good question. Let's see if I can find out.
Okay, so one of them held the other one's hand for 6 hours while they were dead.
You're gross.
Was it sick?
So gross.
This is why I live alone, because I find that a little creepy and disturbing.
Yeah. How about you take one of those hands, call 911.
How about that?
No, apparently they were in the hospital together. Okay, let's see. Does it say who died? It doesn't say who died first.
How old were they?
52.
Both of them?
Oh no, they were married for 52 years. They look old as shit.
Okay, this is starting to come together.
Oh, they were 85 and 86.
Okay, well then the other one, the one that died second, had nothing better to do. So really, I mean, that makes sense, right?
They probably weren't even trying to hold hands. You know how that arthritis goes.
That's right. I mean, they were probably limited mobility. Really.
One of them just reached out. They got clamped onto each other.
Oh my God, you guys.
Right? And like, seriously, when you're 80-something, you don't move very fast. So, yeah.
What's 6 hours, really?
What is 6 hours?
There was also, I watched another news story about a woman who FaceTimed her husband while he was dying.
Well, she FaceTimed him while he was dying.
So he was like on the way out, and the nurses were like, this is not going to be good. Like, he's not going to last the night. And then she FaceTimed him and thanked him for making her happy every single day of their relationship.
Was she not in the hospital?
No, you can't.
Right.
Like, you literally can't. So she literally FaceTimed him, and then they took the phone away, and they were like, there's no pulse anymore. And he died in that moment. So crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Isn't that sad?
I'm not sure how I can make that one funny.
Yeah.
FaceTime, more like Face the Reaper.
Oh my God.
Face reality.
Jesus Christ.
Look at Sarah, you fucking started it.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, what did I do today? Oh yeah, I read a lot of sad news stories.
See, I don't read the news. I'm not reading those stories because I get really emotional.
See, that's interesting.
I agree. Yeah. FaceTime, more like time's up.
How about time to find a new husband?
Oh. God. And they were really religious too, so she did what is it, whatever last rites is? What is last rites? What does that mean?
You get a priest to come in and he says, I think certain prayers.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't it suck if you were dying and someone was giving you last rites and you were just like, no, I'm not going. No.
There's a Monty Python skit about that, I think, isn't there?
Oh, really?
I think so. I can look it up.
It would be funny if you were just like, no, I'm not going to go. No, I'm not dying. No.
It was, I know what it was. I think it was a Monty Python sketch when it was a plague. And they used to, in jolly old England, they used to bring a cart around, and the man, and in the skit, the man was yelling, bring out your dad, bring out your dad. And so they throw the dead into the cart. And so this one family throws their dead into the cart, and the guy's like, I'm not dead yet. And the family's like, well, you will be soon. So it's.
Life of Brian, I just watched that for the first time a couple weeks ago, or maybe several. I don't know how long it's been. Time is weird now. But recently, super good.
Yeah. Is that from Life of Brian?
Yeah. I don't know why I felt the need.
Is that the one where they have always look on the bright side of life?
Yeah. That's the one.
I love that.
Yeah, that is a truly great movie. I loved Monty Python when I was not a kid, but when everyone gets into it, say 13 to 17, somewhere in that range. And then I hadn't watched it for a while. And you know, sometimes you, I don't know, just start to like not like something that you used to like without even having seen it. So it's just like, you know, I don't think I like Monty Python anymore. And then you go back and watch it, and you're like, oh no, I fucking love this.
Right. It
so
holds up
good.
still. Yeah. I've actually never gotten into Monty Python.
Oh, it's so funny. The one with like the dead parrot, I just watched again recently too, which is very funny.
Yeah.
The one where this is the worst. I'm gonna stop. I was gonna describe another one that I enjoyed. This is fucking bullshit. People are listening.
Not as we speak.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us.
Any story that starts with the one that blank happens stinks for a podcast.
Albert, that's every single Friends episode description starts with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also, speaking of that, do you want to tell the listeners and tell Adrienne what we ended up doing on your birthday Zoom call when everyone left and it was just our sad asses in there?
Yes, we did a personality quiz.
We did a personality quiz. I'll send you the link, Adrienne. It's what TV or movie character are you? Like,
okay, what did you come up with?
Well, it gives you a comprehensive list of like, I don't even know how many, like 1,000. It'll give you all the percentages, a breakdown.
Like the person I'm least like is Marty Hart at number 540 from True Detective. That's Woody Harrelson's character. The person I most like, Chandler Bing of Friends, who I don't know.
That was his number one, was Chandler. And my number one was Carrie Bradshaw.
I can see you as Carrie Bradshaw.
I was just pissed because it felt too stereotypical.
But you can't see me as Chandler? When am I not good enough to be Chandler? Is that what you're saying?
I think you're funnier than Chandler.
Yeah.
It's not Chandler anyways. It's Chandler.
I don't know. I've only seen 2 episodes of the show.
Really?
I thought it was like Chandelier without the E.
No.
Or without the I, fuck.
With the newfound knowledge that you're just like Chandler Bing, you should watch all of Friends.
And to be honest with you, the reason I haven't watched more than 2 episodes of Friends is because I have watched 2 episodes of Friends.
And you didn't like it.
Kind of stinks, doesn't it?
I loved it. I loved it at the time.
I
think I still love it. I'm like, I don't feel the need to rewatch it. You know what I mean?
I get like people like, I don't know. I find most sitcoms, like there's exceptions, but most of them I really actively dislike. Because Community, I like a lot. Like Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Always Sunny is probably my favorite show of all time. Office used to be my favorite show of all time, still up there. But like sitcoms, like straight up sitcoms, especially anything made before like 2008. Just not for me. How I Met Your Mother is the only like that I recently rewatched too. But that's like, I don't know, you watch it because you want to feel sad.
Have you ever watched Happy Endings?
No, I haven't.
That's a show I'd highly recommend if you're into that. Like Albert, like those shows that you just named off. It's in that caliber. And it's like, I think there's only a couple seasons of it, 1 or 2, but that's a really good show.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't think so. I will check right now.
Happy Endings.
Has Alicia Cuthbert in it?
Oh, I know her from what is the
Girl Next Door?
Girl Next Door, that's it.
Hell yeah.
That's so funny. I haven't seen that. I do remember one line from that movie, which is denial isn't just a river in
what was it? Denial isn't just what?
A river in Egypt. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. I think doesn't he end up like with his dick out in like a university class or something? Am I thinking of the same movie?
I don't remember that part.
Oh, isn't it something? I remember it having a lot of very like awful, like nightmare-ish moments in it.
I want to rewatch that movie now.
I don't know if it's like a good movie.
Probably not.
But I enjoyed it a lot when I was a kid.
Where was I going with what I was saying? Well, I do have a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys, obviously, I think I know the answer, but so do you miss doing stand-up?
Oh my God.
Of
Yeah.
course.
A lot. A lot.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest thing I miss.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of these virtual comedy shows?
It's not really stand-up. It's a different thing. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's fun, but it's not stand-up.
Right.
Yeah. I have friends saying to me, "Oh, just stand up and put it online." But it's like it's not the same for me. I would find that very hard to like stand in my living room to an empty room and tell my jokes.
There's no sense of timing without an audience. You don't know when to stop or start.
Yeah.
Like a joke. Yeah.
Right.
I did one with Brandon Michael. Shout out to Brandon Michael. He hosted a virtual open mic.
How did that go?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, everyone was super funny. Brandon hosted it, and me, Kyle Burnett, and Jim, and Mitch, I think, were on it.
So was it like a Zoom call that was like live streamed, or
no?
What
so
was it?
It was you taped the video.
Oh, and then they just played them through.
Yeah, so I set up I set it up with my tripod, and I built a microphone out of a carrot and a lime. And I used like a coat rack I had as a mic stand.
That's hilarious.
It was fun. But it's not stand-up. Like,
well,
all of us were on the same page of kind of doing, like, what is it? I'll find out where it is so that instead of ruining it, I can plug it, because Kyle was also very funny in gym with
Yeah, please do, because I remember seeing that, and then I don't know, I probably just got depressed and went to sleep.
Yeah, everyone on it was very fun.
I think people doing podcasts and stuff, that's kind of the way I think to go right now.
Yeah.
And things like Albert, didn't you do something with Matt?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Like that's
Like
the way to go.
talk show style. But
Yeah.
here's my question. What are your guys' thoughts on doing kind of like
we
a stand-up?
had segments.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Right?
Ask an Albert. I love that.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, I love it. What would you guys think of doing like a comedy show where it's on Zoom, but rather than, instead of acting like you're speaking out to nobody, your audience is just whoever's on the Zoom call. So it could be other comedians, like anyone really who joins the Zoom call. We mute all the people in the Zoom call, and then you actually can see kind of like an audience, and you would do the stand-up that way. What would you think of that?
I'm not super into the idea of doing comedy in the same way that you would like a mic. Like doing my old jokes, I literally just see no point in. And doing new jokes, I don't think you'd be able to improve them in any way.
Right.
So I don't know if there would be any benefit
to seeing people on the Zoom call.
Well, I don't know if there'd be any benefit as a comic in terms of working on stuff or improving. And as an audience, I don't know if it would be as fun. Like if somebody wants to watch comedy, like if I can look up Patrice, like look up Bill Burr, like there's way better comics than me that you can watch infinitely online. So like it's not, I don't know if you're getting the same live experience that you would.
Well, what if
in person?
What if people weren't muted and you could hear them laughing?
But who would it be?
Then it'd be choppy.
Yeah,
well, that's a good question. Yeah, and I guess
also if we're all comedians, like oftentimes we all just sit there and we're like this for each other. We're like,
Yeah, comedians don't always laugh.
You know?
That's exactly it.
So interesting. Okay.
So stuff like this is great. I agree. Like, I think this is the way that people here should do anything. I forgot how to speak for a second there. But, you know,
anything creative, like to kind of like
talking, interacting, off the cuff.
Or film shorts, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different options, but I don't think there's any point trying to do traditional stand-up without an audience. I don't know. I wouldn't discourage anyone from doing it. I just don't know if
yeah, that's totally fair.
And maybe, you know, maybe somebody will figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
that actually works. But
I have some ideas. Like, I thought I could do one because there was this idea I had for a while, which I was thinking would either be like either a live stream or a live show, which was your old joke books. So getting out your old joke notes and having just people read over like your old jokes, like you're not even using anymore, like old ones, and just having people discuss like old jokes from your old notebooks. And I thought that would be
funny. That sounds funny.
Have you got yours? We could do that segment right now. Adrienne,
do you have an old joke book?
I've got, I mean, not a book, but I've got.
I do. Where is my old joke book? I mean, I've only been doing this for 3 years, so I don't have a lot of old joke books, but where is my old one? I have, mine's over there.
Go get it.
Okay, just a second.
We'll give people a taste of what might become a live stream later.
Okay. And just prepare to maybe chop out this section while I look for it, because this is a text document that I had.
It's electronic.
A while ago. Yeah. My documents, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, no, this isn't that old.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing. This type of stream would probably be like really good for people who've been doing it like 5+ years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's exactly it. Like, this is, most of these are jokes that I've looked over and just said that they weren't good enough.
Right. I mean, that works too. It could be old jokes or rejected jokes.
They're just bad. Okay, I've got a lighter that's as powerful as a lightsaber, but only because lightsabers aren't real. That's a joke.
I like it.
I'm not a huge
Bring it back. Bring it back.
And I've never said that before. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's funny.
What do I have here? Oh, these are not jokes per se. They're just things I wrote down.
Like funny things?
Things that I've noticed that I thought were funny. Like, I noticed the chairs at the local medical clinic. They all used to be the same, standard regular size. But now about 10% of the chairs were like supersized chairs, about 1.5 times wider than a regular chair, because we wouldn't want fat people to feel uncomfortable enough to lose weight, especially at a medical clinic.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
There of all places.
Yes. Fuck. That's where you're supposed to be honest. You're supposed to be like, fuck, you can't fit in those chairs. There's something wrong.
Better do something about it.
Although, I remember when I was a kid and I had this, I went to see this doctor when I was, I don't know how old I was. Not super old. And this doctor was like, you're fat. That's what the doctor said to me. I was like, that's really mean. Like, for a doctor?
Yeah, just to say it bluntly like that.
Yeah.
Well, usually,
am I medically fat?
Yeah, he's overweight or something. Like, don't say, I don't know.
Yeah, that's bad. Then I have what products that fat shame you, like A&W's Chubby Chicken, Chunky Kit Kats. You know?
Very true.
Oh, I also found this funny. There's a sandwich shop in Dartmouth called Quickies. I found that funny. Oh, no.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Don't get the mayo. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't do that. That's funny.
Oh, here's one I used for Talk Like a Pirate Day on 19th September. I didn't even know this was a thing, so I just made this up at the last minute. If I lived in the time of pirates, I'd be a pirate's wife. I'd spend my days below deck homeschooling the kids while my husband was out raping and pillaging. When he comes home, I'd have first dibs on the loot and the STIs. All that raping and pillaging, my husband is not a clean man.
Do you think there were any like gentleman pirates who just like pillaged?
I think the gay ones might have just pillaged. The rest of their buddies were like fucking all these women. They'd be like, "Oh no,
I'm good.
I'm good.
And
I'm just good with the pillaging."
I think you're separating gay men from other men too much there. Gay man pirates were definitely just out raping dudes. There's no way they were like, no, I'm not doing this.
No. Back in the day, they were not LGBTQ friendly. So like when the guys were like, dude, let's go rape these women. They're going to be like, no, that's fine. I'm good with the pillaging. Because they don't want to be like, what I really want to do is rape you.
I don't know. I bet that they were out there raping dudes.
Really? The other guys were raping gals?
Yeah. I think so. I'd like to think that everyone is getting raped.
There's the sound clip.
Equal opportunity raping.
Yeah. I would assume so. I mean,
is that the title of this episode? Equal opportunity raping.
I mean, let's not have it be that. That would be something else.
Albert, do you have any more jokes?
I used to always say I'm my own worst enemy, but I don't think that anymore. I bet there's some motherfucker out there doing a much better job of it than I am. That's a joke that I think I didn't do because I heard somebody do a similar joke.
Oh,
that I wrote early on. I definitely wrote that when I was living at my apartment in Malta, which was like 2012 or 13.
That would make me so nervous to do stand-up. Like, just thinking that your joke isn't original. Like,
it's tough. Yeah. Especially with short jokes or jokes about common topics. I mean, some topics are so hacked that like you're not even really ripping people off because they've been done so many times.
Right.
Like unless you have like a really specific take on some issues. Like it's really hard to do super original jokes about some ideas because they've been done so many times. But it would suck to do a joke that specifically had been done by somebody else, like something specific and also been done.
Right.
That would not be good.
Yeah.
Would suck.
I think most ideas have already been talked about. Like it's like what Albert said, you have to put your own spin on it. There's only so many ideas. There's relationships, there's your upbringing, there's like dating, there's and then you just have to put your own spin on it.
Oh,
it depends. Like if you're doing story jokes, I feel like that's kind of like a challenge and an advantage in that way. Because like if you're telling a story, and it actually happened, then like you're inherently not ripping somebody off.
Exactly.
Because it had to be.
Right.
I don't know. With jokes,
with
like,
that,
I don't tell a lot of jokes about like relationships or anything like that. Most of my, not most, but a surprising number of my jokes come from road signs.
I love that.
Like
Really?
a lot of my favorite jokes of mine, like the deaf child sign and the sign about trucks blowing off the road in Amherst.
I love that joke so much. And I love how with you, one of my favorite things about watching like your stand-up specifically, Albert, is how long you pause after you tell a joke, because people will laugh and then they'll start to laugh more. But you you wait it out. You let them them think about it.
People laugh.
You know?
Yeah, you have to let people laugh. And at the end of the day, the audience, a bunch of dummies. Give them a minute.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So I'm gonna end the episode with two things. I put on Instagram a question asking people to say what the saddest thing they've done in quarantine was. So what's the saddest thing you guys have done in this quarantine?
You go first, Adrienne.
Okay, so people make fun of this and stuff, but really, it's true. I actually get excited for garbage day. I'm like, oh, what is it this week? Is it organics or is it trash? And I'm like, oh, it's almost like tonight's Wednesday. I'm like, oh, tomorrow night's Thursday. And then I found out that Good Friday fucked up my garbage day, and I was really sad about it.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I was like, fuck, and I looked it up online. I'm like, when is it going to happen? Because I really want to put my garbage out. Like, that's how invested I am in it right now.
Are you someone who would get excited for garbage day even without a quarantine?
No. No. But I literally am like, oh, I have enough garbage.
That is pretty sad. I won't lie.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Okay.
I don't know what my garbage day is. Like, I have an apartment, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you don't get to experience that joy. I mean, I can't tell you how exciting it is for me. You know what? When I first moved here, it hasn't happened recently, but I would put my garbage out, and then the next morning when I was going to the gym, I'd happen to look as I was backing up my car, and someone had moved my garbage.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
That is.
Like, I put it in a spot, and when I get up, it would be moved to a different spot. And it happened.
Still there, like the garbage man didn't do it.
Still there.
Weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah, like 3 times at least it's happened.
Isn't that
crazy? Like there's an obsessive compulsive person in the neighborhood who wants the garbage in a very specific spot.
Very OCD.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I had some people comment on Instagram.
Do they always move it to the same spot?
They always move it to the same spot. So here I have a tree, and I put it, if you're facing the road, I always put it on the right side of the tree, on the grass. And when I get up at like 6 a.m, it's on the left side of the tree.
Ooh.
On like this little tiny walkway.
It's probably just because you take so many ativan, you wake up in your neighbor's lawn, and you're like, why is it on the other side of the tree? Like you're just you're looking at it from the other direction.
Maybe.
That could be it.
Some of the people on Instagram wrote in with what they did, and I'll just read them. So one of them was straight up haven't showered for at least a week and ate KD out of a pot while crying. Pretty sad. A lot of these involve crying. Started crying randomly in the middle of working and made edible cookie dough. And then someone else wrote, drank a week of stockpiled booze in 2 days, which I don't think that's sad. I think that's.
I was going to say, I think that's fairly normal.
And someone else wrote.
What do you mean a week's worth of booze? Like, what's a week's worth of booze?
Well, probably a lot, because us Maritimers drink a lot.
Yeah, but like, is it like if you can drink it in 2 days? Like, I don't know. Like, it sounds to me like they bought like, you know, a 26er and a case, and they said to themselves, "I'm going to try to spread this out." But they didn't. But it was, if you drink it in 2 days, it's 2 days worth.
True.
You know
Fair.
what I mean? Like,
I haven't really been
That
drinking.
is your average. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the saddest thing I did was watch all of Titanic on YouTube in 2 to 4 minute clips at a time. That's officially the saddest thing I've done this quarantine. Albert, can you top any of ours?
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm a pretty exceptional person. You know, I don't do anything sad.
Oh my God.
A lot of people say that like my life inspires them.
This in itself is sad. You are so full of shit.
I'm a very happy person. And I make people happy.
Such a thin veneer. Come on now.
I don't know about specifically. I tried to make bread with yeast that apparently I bought 2 years ago, the last time I tried to make bread. So it didn't rise, and I ate my sad unrisen bread.
Was it good at all?
It was okay. Like, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't great. It was worse than like bread you would buy.
Right.
Whereas like homemade bread is supposed to be a lot better than bread you would buy. But it wasn't bad. It was much denser.
And everyone's making bread these days.
Yeah, I hear there's no yeast in the grocery stores. It was a topic of discussion at work today.
Unless Adrienne's there.
Damn! Oh, shit!
That's the last time I ever talk about my hygiene
pH.
around you.
Vaginal pH.
I was trying to share. I was trying to make a connection, and you used it against me. That was a perfect callback. No, you can't take that shit back. It's too late, motherfucker. That was a perfect callback from the beginning of the episode.
That's great.
But I still hate you for it.
Well, then I do take it back. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it.
The teacher in me is going to beat the shit out of you the next time I see you in person. That's probably what
in
I did.
8 months.
Yeah.
In 8 months.
Oh my God, I hope it's not 8. I think that's a great way to end it. Let's end it on some hate.
Wait, Adrienne, you get a chance to get me back though.
Oh, it's not worth it.
No.
I had a nickel for every time I heard a chick say that.
Well, unless there's any last words, I would ask you guys to plug any upcoming dates, but there's none of those.
Yeah, in 2021, I'm going to be doing something somewheres.
Ooh.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, you guys can plug your social medias, though. Where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Adrienne Gabrielle. I just posted a song. People have been asking me to put up my song. So I put up a song.
That's awesome.
Which one?
I put up my least offensive one. I put up Constipated.
Nice.
I'm trying to decide if I should put up the other ones, but they are dirtier.
I say friggin' do it.
Really?
Do you have coworkers on Facebook?
Yeah, a few, but I don't really care about the coworkers. It's kind of like
family and shit.
It's like people. Well, I should say there are a few coworkers that I care about.
Right.
You know, and a few family members that I care about.
I have a heavily curated Facebook. I have lists that like exclude certain people.
Yes.
It's a good way to do it.
Exclude, Sarah. The word you were looking for was.
That's what what did I say?
You said disclude.
That's That is 100% not a word. Listen, my friend died, okay?
Yeah, I'm
still riding that train.
I usually pick up on that. I don't know. I must be like really tired because I totally let
teacher in
that
you is
slide.
good,
I know. I'm just so focused on beating the shit out of you next time I see you. I guess.
And I just want to say we're all very sad about Andrew.
That's true.
Yes.
But we're not all saying words down, Sarah. So.
And Albert, you're on Instagram now.
I am.
Is it just Albert Coombes Comedy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'll link to your guys' socials, so check these guys out. I want to thank you both for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
This was lots of fun.
See, I included both of us. I said, thank you for having us. And this jerkball, he's like, thanks for having me.
No, well, I said thanks for having me, and then I was about to say, and
yeah, you
don't even need to.
He has to read my name. He's like,
no, I was trying to think of something good to say. I'm a little slow, and you don't even need to be thanked for Adrienne or whatever. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Thanks for having me.
Albert's well has run dry.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you're ending the podcast now, because
yeah. I know when to close. Okay.
Yeah, I've run out.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys both. I'm gonna ring the bell on behalf.
Thank you for having just me.
Ring that bell. Podcasts are weird now. This is so weird.